Well, we are tracking this tragic story. A Connecticut woman murdered with an axe in her own home in front of her little boy. Well, her family is now suing the police department, the officer that was assigned to investigate her case specifically as well, and the city of Milford. The family attorney saying that the victim, Julie Minogue, reached out to police several times in the weeks before her murder about harassment from Ewan DeWitt, the father of her child. Now, police say they knew he sent 200 text messages to her in the days leading up to the alleged killing, or rather leading up to him allegedly killing Minogue inside of her condo in front of the couple's 3-year-old son. So we want to bring in now Tracy Walder, former CIA officer and FBI special agent, to parse through this case. Tracy, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And this is another tragic story. The family's attorney saying that Minogue feared for her life, clearly, saying that police did not act fast enough to obtain an arrest warrant for DeWitt, adding that he was in violation, actually, of a protective order at the time of the murder. And they also say that her death was simply preventable. What is your read of what happened here, and what sort of case does this family likely have?
So this is just horrific. And I usually try to understand sort of both sides of the coin in these issues, but I'm really having a hard time here. He also had assault charges that were pending from 2019 from 2 separate incidences. The first was assaulting a female paramedic, and then the second was actually assaulting her. And those should not have still been pending. And that's what's surprising to me. Is I'm surprised that in 4 years, even with COVID, those charges were still pending. I think with the totality of the circumstances, the assault charges, the copious amounts of phone calls, the clear amount of stalking that he was engaging in, an arrest warrant should have been issued for him. And I do feel that the judge was in the wrong here, actually not issuing one, and her death could have been prevented because of that.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit more in detail of what you were just bringing up there, because we know those charges were pending against DeWitt. In 2019, that incident you mentioned, he allegedly threw a playpen at Minogue's head. It caused a wound that required 5 staples to close. And then you also mentioned the family's attorney saying that police knew he was violent. He assaulted a female paramedic in another state. So are you saying that if charges were brought, that this probably wouldn't have happened?
You know, that's a hard call to make, right? You know, I can't say the definitive no, this wouldn't have happened, right? We don't know that for sure, and I certainly wouldn't want to go on record as, you know, saying that. But the reality is had an arrest warrant been issued for him, perhaps he could have been in jail, and perhaps if he was then continuing to stalk and harass her, they could have put him in jail again for violating whatever the terms were of his release had he been arrested. And so I think that's what I'm saying. I don't want to definitively say that that wouldn't have led to her death, but I do think that the family really has a case here in terms of moving forward with this.
And help us understand this, because it's difficult to track. So the police officer assigned to the harassment case prepared an arrest warrant for DeWitt, but it was returned by a prosecutor who was seeking more information, and then it was just not resubmitted before Minogue was killed. So who do you think is ultimately at fault here, or could have prevented this from escalating to this point?
That is such a good question, and you're right, it's hard. I remember having to go, you know, to grand juries to get indictments when I was an FBI agent, and you always want to have as much evidence as possible because you want an indictment returned. And in this case, the officer who submitted this arrest warrant wanted an arrest warrant returned, but for whatever reason, the prosecution did not feel that that was enough evidence. And so I do think that ultimately the responsibility actually lies with the prosecutor in this case, because given the totality of evidence that should have been granted, and that's where I really think that it lies. Yes, certainly the police officer should have then followed up and gathered whatever the evidence was that they were additionally asking for. But I do think that that initial sort of turning away of that request really lies with the prosecutor.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.